Hey, here I'm at Gordon's Golgotha, one of the potential two locations of the burial of Jesus, burial site. You can see over my shoulder there's one of the tombs. We're in a garden area. If you take a look here, there's a press for a vineyard for wine. It says that they were in a garden. This fits the bill. I'll show you a picture, but there's a cliff over there that has a face of a skull. The pictures from the 1800s, you can see it much more clearly. It's just outside the Damascus gate. And it says a few things, that Jesus was crucified outside the gate in a garden area close to where he was crucified. Regardless if this is the actual location, it's a good picture of what we understand. But in John chapter 19, it says that later, knowing that all was completed and so that the scriptures will be fulfilled, Jesus says, I am thirsty. What does he mean that scriptures will be fulfilled? Well, look, there's all kinds of scriptures. Micah 5 verse 2, that he'd be born in Bethlehem, that he would be preceded by a messenger, Isaiah 40 verse 3. We know the spirit of Elijah, John the Baptist. And he would enter Jerusalem on a colt of a donkey, Zechariah 9:9. He would be betrayed by a friend, Judas. He was kissed on the cheek, Psalm 41, Psalm 55. That money would be thrown to the potter, Zechariah chapter 1, verse 13. That he would be hated without a cause, Isaiah 49, verse 7. That he would be silent before his accusers, Isaiah 53, verse 7. The crucifixion, Psalm 22, spells it out really quickly. They're clearly 1,000 years before crucifixion was even invented by the Romans. I mean, crazy. That he'd be executed, that he'd be pierced, and that no bones would be broken. Those are just a dozen of the prophecies, of the 324 prophecies about the Messiah. You know, the statistics are insane. You've heard the one by Peter Stoner, a doctor, who said you could fill up Texas up to your knee with silver dollars, paint one red and hide it anywhere in Texas by Austin, and send a blind man out there, and the chances of him picking one up would be 1 in 8. Now, 1 in 48 is 1 followed by 157 zeros, 1 to the 10 to the power of 157. Incredibly impossible. Imagine all 327. It's incredible. But it says here that the scriptures will be fulfilled. And he says, I'm thirsty. And what they do is they put an analgesic, a jar of vinegar there, soaked on a sponge on a stalk of a hyssop plant, and lifted it up to Jesus. Actually, that's Psalm 69 actually tells us that would happen. That's another one. And then when he received the drink, he says, tetelestai. It's the Greek word that means paid in full, meaning your debt has been paid by Jesus. It's absolutely incredible that Jesus would hang on a cross and he would say, look, your debt is done. It's covered. Past, present, and future. Your debt is paid in full. The thing that you and I couldn't do, Jesus did on our behalf. He lived a perfect life that we should have lived, and he died the death that you and I should have died. And he offers it as a free gift of grace to anyone that would receive it. He's offering it to you, and all you have to do is receive it. That if anyone confesses with your mouth and believes in your heart, it says you might be saved. No, it says you will be saved. And that's the beauty of the cross. But it doesn't end there, because 3 days later he was resurrected, conquering death on our behalf for all eternity. And that's the story of the garden tomb, that Jesus is no longer there. You don't find a bucket of bones there. You don't find, like you do with Buddha, one of his fingers from the Ming Dynasty. You don't find Muhammad's bones. You do find Muhammad's bones, but you don't find Jesus' bones, because Jesus conquered death on our behalf, and it offers it to us.